Frustrated residents in Johannesburg say they remain concerned about the lack of communication in relation to when Pikitup services will resume, with piles of refuse posing a health risk. Now, casual workers at Pikitup have been striking over demands that their posts be made permanent. Now, let's get an update from a representative of the workers who've downed tools. Enos Maake joins me now in studio. Enos, thank you so much for your time. Just talk to us about, the reasons behind this particular protest from the casual workers.
It is about unfair recruitment processes characterized by scandalous sex for job, bribery, nepotism, and then influenced by external forces like the ward councillors and also union members of some, making sure they peddle and meddle with the recruitment processes at Pikitup. So we have casuals that have been with Pikitup for more than 5 to 10 years. And this is a mere general worker, which a requirement, its minimum was grade 10. And then, of course, you need to have experience in the space. So the people that were recruited, they don't even have experience. I mean, common sense logic, the people you would absorb when you will appoint after following your processes are those who possess experience. And these casuals have been with Pikitup for 5 to 10 years. So out of 12 depots in city of Johannesburg, not even a single person was called for an interview, just a mere interview. So at least when people were called for interviews, they would have said, we were in an interview, we failed the interview. So people were called just to come and sign contracts. Those who were handpicked by those who were close to the process.
So, of course, we know that, what caused this particular protest or downing of tools was as a result of those 300 jobs that were advertised. I mean, these are serious allegations that you are making against management in as far as why, some of your casual workers were not employed. They've previously said that the workers that are currently there now don't meet the bare minimum in terms of requirements. I do understand, of course, the Johannesburg city manager, Floyd Brink, has now indicated that they will be re-advertising some of these jobs to cater for what we are currently seeing now. I mean, is this the only issue at hand here? Have you spoken to management? Are they engaging you in terms of what is the crux of the matter?
Yeah, we're engaging the management, and then we put the demand. The one demand that would have not prolonged the protest is the request that we made. Please, can you freeze the post because we have serious allegations? Why, like I said, not even a single person out of the 12 depots was called for interview. Do you understand? Absolute. Then immediately you can tell that there's something wrong, let alone where we come from, where we have ward councillors who have compiled their own list of comrades and send them to Pikitup, and those people are working, they are part of 300. So we have proof. If they want names of the people who are close to ward councillors and the members of SAMU, we can produce that. So, but we said to them, please stop and freeze this post, investigate, let the services continue in city of Johannesburg while you investigate, because we believe that it has been unfair. And then if there's anything that we are to proven wrong, then you can release a report. But common sense, why would you exclude somebody who's been with you for 10 years? This, we believe it was man-made problem, it was intentional. They enjoy exploiting these casuals, and it's very shocking that 30 years into democracy, we have an entity that can stand up and continue exploiting people in their spaces. Have
you, consulted at least with the Labour Department and as far as your concerns are, that you've been raising now? Because, I mean, as you say, some people have been within the entity between 5 and 10 years. One would only imagine that that needs to be looked into, particularly as we know that there is a tremendous skills shortage in this country, and the potential to skill workers is there.
we were not forcing people to hire those casuals, but they've taken their money, airtime to compile the CVs, go up and down submitting. Then at the end of the day, the result of that process is favoritism and nepotism. So it's not only the casuals that were applied, anybody who had interest have applied. But then you can tell why there was no shortlisting. Shortlisting should entail people who meet the requirements. And a grade 10, those who are in the space as casuals, they have grade 11 and 12. So other requirements to say you must have experience. They have ample and much experience than anyone else who's outside the space. So we expected that let them at least should have shortlisted one person. And then they said, we brought this one person here for shortlisting. I mean, it's impossible. Out of 12 depots, each depot had around 50 to 30. Let's say average is about 40. And none of them. So if you say 40 times 12, it's a lot. Not single one person that you as Pikitup, you could have said this is a person that has the skills, the requirements that we have. People have been with you, enjoying the service, using them as and when you want them to do the backlog. When you have pressure, you call those people. So we feel like it's a form of exploitation. There hasn't been fairness in all.
Oftentimes the plight of the workers is only being addressed when you go to the streets and you inadvertently destroy property. So take us into your confidence in as far as the plight of Pikitup employees, particularly the ones that are aggrieved at this moment. We are, of course, aware of the economic struggles and challenges that this country is facing. We know of the unemployment crisis that we are currently in. What are the workers saying themselves in terms of, just making ends meet?
It's difficult because, like we are saying, these people are earning around the minimum of 120. What would you do with 120? So, and then they've been, patient, they've persevered, and soldiered on for many years, getting those peanuts. Now an opportunity arises for you to now start employing them so that they can address their social issues, the affordability as well. So it's a problem. The unemployment crisis is growing across the country. It's worse in Johannesburg because everybody's flocking to Johannesburg. So, and then we would expected that the Pikitup entity would say, I'm exposed to these people. I know their challenges. We are not paying them much, but they've serviced us with pride for many years. And then we don't say they must reward them. They were subjected to the same process. But we expect if the process was fair, these people should be the one emerging as those who should be appointed.
When you say 120, what exactly?
120 rand is just a mere 120 rand, a minimum. Your EPWP rate is around 120. So, and then they've been exploited for the longest time. So they know that they were in these programs, but how long should they stay with the experience that they have? They were not demanding the job. They said, we have applied, and then why do we see your children? Why do we see people who have never worked anywhere, Because we were told that the children of the shop steward were bussed across the country to come and apply for those jobs. They give them the proof of residence that were needed as requirements, and now they become citizens. Tomorrow they go to work. Those who've been here for many years, they've been overlooked. So we have a serious problem. So we know City Power cannot hire everyone at the same time, but those 300 jobs, they should have at least absorbed those people. We don't even want to follow this issue of advertising, because why do you have to advertise while you have people with you? So the standard system is a problem in the City Park, in Pikitup. So it's one of the challenges that money goes to these subcontractors, and then Pikitup and any other entities could just directly absorb these people who won't have a crisis like this one.
Very quickly, as we wrap up, we know, of course, some members were arrested. What is the way forward? What's happening there in as far as those arrests are concerned?
We are trying to establish, because these 12 depots, which members exactly and for what crimes are they being charged. So we have our group, a WhatsApp group, where we're trying to engage our people and establish the facts or the whereabouts of these people where they've been arrested. So we are in solidarity with them. It's the struggle. It's apartheid tactics. When people create a mess, the only thing that they can do to cover up their mess is just to go and use the courts and the poor law enforcement.
So the way forward here is if Pikitup management meets you halfway, at least the city of Johannesburg, are we then likely to see an end to this current protest?
They've committed. Next week they are issuing out a post. They are advertising again. And I don't know how many number of posts will that be. And then they've said next week they will. I mean, the city manager made a commitment together with the MD that they will consider these casuals. So we are just waiting to see if next week the advert will be out. We will assist those people to apply. They will meet the requirements. They'll actually exceed the requirements. And we expect those who are in there as casuals for many years to be the one that will be absorbed. We don't want to see the very same thing that we've seen. But we want the 300 people that have been absorbed. Those posts must be freezed. The investigation must happen parallel.